Okay, well, hello again, and I'm sure there's quite a few of you out there wondering what this Le Roc business is all about. There's been several comments posted. What is this thing you keep asking Ben about regarding Le Roc, Steve? What's it all about? Well, it goes to integrity. It makes a point about integrity. You know, the woo-woos, they will tell you science fiction stories in order to keep you interested in the world of woo, or they may be selling books, they may be piffle peddlers, they may want your money, you know, for these stories of being abducted or making free energy machines, you know, this sort of absolute science fiction nonsense. Now, I thought that I'd just make a very quick video to show you what the Le Roc business is all about. And Ben Emlyn-Jones will go along to a presentation, and someone will repeat one of these abduction stories, or another one of these science fiction stories. And Ben Emlyn-Jones will say something like, "Why would these people make this story up?" Now, when I posted the response video to the nothing like the truth seekers running around like headless chickens in Wiltshire, Ben left a post which I'll show you in a few minutes. They were talking about this Hangar 45 in Wiltshire, and I'll show you a clip from that, and I'll show you the clip that I did about it as well. And they were saying that something sinister was going on, there was something secret going on, it was something to do with the Air Force. And indeed, Hangar 45 was something to do with the Air Force. It was part of an airfield many years ago. It was all broken up and sold off, and Hangar 45 was part of that airfield. But it's nothing whatsoever to do with the Air Force now. It's flying an Air Force flag. It's just in respect of the fact that it used to be an Air Force building. It's actually occupied by a company called Le Roc, who make pre-stressed concrete products, you know, walls, staircases, and that sort of thing. But Ben left a comment because they were saying something, something sinister was going on there. And he said that they know what Le Roc really is, or they know what Le Roc is. And that Ben Emlyn-Jones, Julie Phelps, who is the latest secret space fantasist, targeted individual nonsense, said there was something going on there, and Ben and Julie and Colin Woolford and Miles Johnstone are discussing a strategy of how to deal with Le Roc. And I've asked him a few times, and Ben says, "Oh, I don't have time to tell you what Le Roc is, and I don't have time to tell you. I don't have a time to make a video telling you what Le Roc is." And what the strategy is, we're all discussing. What I'm discussing with Julie, what I'm discussing with Miles, and what I'm discussing with Colin about Le Roc and what we're going to do about it. The reason for that, of course, is that he made that story up. He's not talking to Julie Phelps or Colin Woolford or Miles Johnstone about a strategy to deal with Le Roc, because Le Roc is a concrete company. It's all nonsense. So when Ben Emlyn-Jones tells you one of these abduction stories and says, "Why would someone make that up?" I think we should all ask Ben Emlyn-Jones why he would make up that story about Le Roc. That they're discussing a strategy. Julie Phelps, Colin Woolford and Miles Johnstone are discussing a strategy to deal with it, to deal with Le Roc. Now, that is a story, isn't it? It's fictional. It's nonsense, because Le Roc's a concrete company. What sort of strategy are they going to devise to deal with that? So let's first of all look at... Oh yeah, by the way, if you've never heard of Julie Phelps, like Julie, you could probably learn to fly starships and have your own encounters with alien beings, several species of aliens. All you need is a box of crayons, so that you can relate to your stories in vivid colour. Okay, right, well, on with the video. Let's have a look at the truth seekers in action, shall we?
We're now following Miles
Yeah, I should have just let that play on from the previous section, to be honest. Yeah, I didn't put very much effort into this video, as you can probably tell. But yes, he was just talking about dropping bombs, the Air Force, dropping bombs on that hill that's got the alien spacecraft buried beneath it. And now they're following miles. They're following miles to another top secret location.
To the next location of interest.
Base.
Holy shit, there's like fucking Montauk, look at it. It's fencing.
Those flags have been up. That's the first time those flags have been there.
Private property keep out, warning to the public.
Yeah. So this is an active military zone.
This building site is...
Yeah.
Let's see if we get a closer look.
And again, of course, it isn't an active military zone.
Could actually sign, hold on a sec. But this is, look, there's fences around here. There's fences around it. Look, there's a huge, very high fences.
Yeah,
Private property keep out. Right, all right. Builder. It says it's a building site.
Yes, it says it, because it's a precast concrete company.
Like, doesn't look like a building site to me, Miles.
Well, all I know is that's been refurbished. The other little building at the top, just as we came in, has all been refurbished and is active. And this is where we had the Crop Circle Cafe a little bit later.
Yeah.
And
Remember, that's where the people go to design their crop circles, or for the briefing before they go and go and draw their crop circle in the field.
I remember the sign.
that was a practically brand new RAF.
Yeah, there's a,
Excellent there.
did you see the flag? Did you see the flag
that's
flying?
the point. That's the point.
Yeah,
That's never been there until
It's at the other end of the building, but we'll show it. I'll film it. I'll give it a shot.
This means this is an active RAF site.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't, Miles. It's not an active RAF site at all.
It's flying the RAF ensign.
Yeah.
No, it looks like a factory, this building. There's a hedge currently hiding the fence. Yeah, and we're just gonna get out of the car and show you something very interesting. Let's show you something very interesting. Yeah, there's something rather extraordinary about this. Let's get out of the car and show you. It's a lovely area, just in the middle of nowhere. Well, you might be able to get a view. Just got to get out quickly. It's a lovely area in the middle of nowhere. But look at this, Hangar 45. Hangar 45. And that looks active over there. There's a intact windows, looks like an office, satellite dish. And we go over here and we see firstly a security gate. There's like a...
Well, the flag's flying at half-mast for a start, but it's a decommissioned Royal Air Force hangar. The airfield was broken up many years ago, and the hangar is a standalone area. There's no runways there. It's not an active RAF site at all. It's been used for commercial applications for many years, many decades.
That there is like a combination lock pad, and flying above it is the ensign of the Royal Air Force, which means this is an active RAF facility.
No, it doesn't.
I don't want to...
The truth movement at its best again, and anything could be further from the truth movement.
Don't want to,
They want to fill your heads with rubbish.
I don't want to get disappear, you know. There's no valour in being a false martyr. But...
No valour in being a false martyr. What exactly is a false martyr, I wonder?
I'm sure I'm being monitored carefully on CCTV right now. There's what looks like some kind of antenna. Something going on. But that's quite something. So what's going on here, I don't know. But there's this car's parked in the car park, you see there. And there's this, probably an automatic gate there. Yeah. So very interesting indeed. And Julie, who's ex-RAF herself, knows this. Okay.
So they were shown that place by the Julie, the new fantasist, the new secret space program fantasist. Hangar 45. Hang on, let's just go to something here. Actually, I should have got that on Google Earth, shouldn't I? In fact, I think I might. But if we go to this, I mean, this is who operates from Hangar 45. Le Roc, precast concrete. We've got the products there. Le Roc was founded in the summer of 2003. Purpose of setting up the company was to provide a client with a more direct and personalised something or another. Le Roc manufactures all of our own bespoke concrete products. That's why there's building stuff going on there, chaps. And have various agreements with dedicated suppliers for pre-stressed flooring products, blah blah blah. If we look at the bottom of their page, this is Le Roc. Le Roc, Hangar 45, Yatesbury, Wiltshire, SN118FA. There's a telephone number there if you want any top secret preformed concrete. Honestly, these Miles Johnson and Ben Emlyn-Jones don't have a bloody clue. They've got absolutely no idea what they're talking about. They're just paranoid. They'll hear some secret space program fantasist will say there's an alien spacecraft buried over there, and they'll run with it as truth. The secret space program fantasist says Hangar 45, something sinister going on there. It's an active Air Force site, and they run with it as truth. As truth. And it's nothing like the truth. It's a concrete company. All right, well, let's just have a look at Hangar 45 on Google Earth and see if there's any discs being hidden behind the bushes. Well, here we are. And this is Hangar 45, Yatesbury, Wiltshire, SN118FA. And as we can see, no flying saucers, no aircraft. It even comes up on Google Earth as Le Roc products. Now I think this is where Ben was standing. I think there's the gate there. So let's put the little Google man. Let's put him right there. Yeah, that's where. That's exactly where Ben was standing. Look at that, Hangar 45. Has it got the little microwave antenna on it there? That's going to be a link. That's probably going to be their internet link or something like that to a Telstra site up the road. And there is no Air Force flag there. Wouldn't read anything into that. Looks like there's some sort of light, maybe an antenna on the top of that pole. But there we go. So it's a concrete company. I suspect that they've put the Royal Air Force ensign halfway up the pole because it's ex-Air Force hangars, ex-Royal Air Force hangars, Hangar 45. Right, well, this is the Hangar 45, the Le Roc building, and this is my video, the UFO Truth Movement in action, which is where the two previous clips came from. And if we scroll down into the comments, we see there's Ben. Do you think we are so daft as not to look up what was advertised as occupying that old hangar? We know what Le Roc is. Miles, Julie, Colin and I are currently privately discussing strategy to deal with it. Okay. So there's Ben, and he's saying, do you think we're so daft as not to look up what was advertised as occupying that old hangar? We know what Le Roc is, so why not tell us, Ben? Miles, Julie, Colin and I are currently privately discussing strategy to deal with it. Yes, okay. Take you about 10 minutes to tell us what the strategy is and what Le Roc is, in fact. Wouldn't it, Ben? So maybe you can stop making feeble excuses and get on with it. You won't, of course, because you know this is all rubbish. You know Le Roc's a concrete company. And you were just jumping in feet first with, with the stories told by the latest secret space program fantasist. My reply actually was yes I do, because he says here, do you think we're so daft as to not look up what was advertised as occupying that old hangar? Yes I do. I think the first time you heard of Le Roc was when I mentioned it in a comment on your channel, because Ben put the Truth Movement video thing up, and I said this hangar 45 is occupied by a concrete company called Le Roc, and I honestly don't believe that Ben had heard of Le Roc before I posted that comment. It says you're what else? Yes, I think you know you look like a bunch of Muppets and are now desperately trying to come up with a damage control story. Well, actually he's not, is he? He's trying to wriggle out of responding at all about it. So he's not trying to come up with the damage control story. He's hoping it will go away so he doesn't have to come up with any story, because he knows as well as I do that Miles, Julie, Colin and Ben's combined IQs probably wouldn't make double digits. I don't think Le Roc's got anything to worry about, do you? Currently privately discussing strategy to deal with it. Yeah, okay. And now let's have a look at Ben wriggling when somebody asked him about this Le Roc business on his current live stream, when he was fielding questions that he'd asked himself about his books. Okay, so we've seen the previous couple of clips about Le Roc, what they've got to say about it, and my look at it on Google Earth. And we've had a look at the comment that Ben Emlyn-Jones left below that video, where Ben Emlyn-Jones says that he knows what Le Roc is. And he's been talking with Julie Phelps and Colin Woolford and Miles Johnstone, and they've been discussing a strategy to deal with it. Now, Ben tells us here that he doesn't have time. He's really wriggling quite badly here, poor old Ben, because he knows that he made that up. He hasn't been talking to Julie Phelps and Miles Johnstone and Colin Woolford about a strategy to deal with Le Roc, because he knows Le Roc is nothing more than a concrete company. And this goes back to the point that I'm trying to make here about the integrity of the woo-woos. They will make up stories to get you intrigued. Ben asks, why would people make up these stories about being abducted? Well, why would you make up a story about Le Roc, Ben? Why would you try and give us the impression it's something that it isn't? So, okay, so we've seen a couple of clips from the video that I did, Truth Seekers in Action, where that shows a couple of clips of Le Roc, the Truth Seekers clip and my clip, and we've seen the comment that Ben Emlyn-Jones left below my video. We know what Le Roc is. And they're discussing a strategy. I'm sure Le Roc on how to deal with it. I'm sure Le Roc are shaking in their boots with such a formidable team of such a huge collection of intellect to deal with them. I'm sure Le Roc are shaking in their boots. Anyway, let's just watch Ben wriggling here. He's got plenty of time to make this video, of course, which is 2 hours long about his book. He's got plenty of time to make another 50-minute video doing a film review of a film that was out 10 or 15 years ago, but he hasn't got time to spend 10 minutes making a quick video telling us what Le Roc is and what he, Julie Phelps, Colin Woolford, Miles Johnstone, the strategy they're developing to deal with it, what that's all about, what strategy they're talking about. because it's all fiction, of course. He hasn't been talking to anybody about any kind of strategy. He hasn't been talking to Julie Phelps or Colin Woolford about how to deal with Le Roc. It's all rubbish. It's nonsense.
Line spec says, well, I've got you, Ben. Not sure if it's been covered. What's with this Le Roc business that Mumbling keeps going on about? Oh, right. Steve Mumbling he's demanding answers, which I haven't provided yet because I can't be bothered.
Because you know you are lying, Ben. You know there are no answers. You know you've painted yourself into a corner. What are you going to say about Le Roc? What are you going to say about this strategy that you and Julie Phelps, Miles Johnstone and Colin Woolford have been discussing to deal with it? It's fiction. That's why he hasn't done it. Look at his face. He knows he's lying.
It's to do with a strange place that I visited with Miles in my last basis video. We went to this place in the West Country, which appears to be some kind of concrete works that's flying the RAF flag.
And appearances are not deceptive in this case. Le Roc is in fact a concrete company. It's based in some old aircraft hangars, and because of the respect to the Air Force, the fact that it used to be an Air Force hangar, they're flying an Air Force flag.
Now, Steve, I did a little bit of background research on that. I talked about it in the video. Steve's accuses me of lying. He's saying that I've made stuff up. He often accuses me of that, and he's...
Well, what's the? Why don't you just tell us what the strategy is that you and Julie Phelps and Colin Woolford and Miles Johnstone are discussing to deal with Le Roc, Ben? You know, why don't you put all our minds at ease? Convince us that you're not just making up a lot of science fiction nonsense.
This doesn't mean I haven't asked him yet because I haven't looked at his entire case. I can't be bothered right now, quite frankly.
Yeah, look at his face. He knows very well he's painted himself into a corner.
At some point I might do a reply to him, but it's going to have to wait for now because I've got other things to do, including this live stream. But what Steve is saying is he says that the Le Roc, he's looked into the Le Roc company himself, and he's now claiming that I'm lying about something or other. I haven't watched it.
Well, it was about 2 minutes worth of Googling, to be honest. Something he should have done before taking the new secret space program Fantasy's word for it.
Video in detail, and I'll watch it at some point. Claire's.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Poor old Ben. Poor old Ben. He knows it's all bloody rubbish. He knows he can't possibly do a response. That's why he didn't say I'll do a response. He said I might do a response because he knows he's painted himself into a corner. He's talking rubbish. The Truth Movement is nothing like the Truth Movement. Miles Johnstone and Julie Phelps are talking bloody rubbish, and he knows it. You know, Secret Space Program Fantasist comes up with a crazy story, and they run with it as truth. He knows that. You know that. Okay, so that's just a bit more clarity on the Le Roc story, Le Rock and roll. And who would like to put some money down? We take a little wager, have a little bet that Ben Emlyn-Jones never makes a response video. Well, if we keep reminding him of it, he'll just keep making feeble excuses as to why he doesn't respond to those two simple questions. Okay, well, maybe I'll catch you again. Bye for now.